Hello and welcome to Mickey Art. My name is Michelle Edhouse, and today I've been playing with these Artworx paints that I found at my local AJ's Emporium, and I've done all sorts of things with them. So if you want to see what else I've been up to, check back through the previous 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. I've had lots of fun today. It's been awesome. And what I'm doing now is something that I haven't done yet. I've been playing with all sorts of different methods and of applying this paint, and I just suddenly realized that I have not done a flip cup. Yeah baby, the good old-fashioned flip cup. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'm just putting a bit of contact paper over the label on the back, flip it over. On the front with the label, I painted this months and months and months ago. So we've got hopefully the colour sealed in. So for my colours, I have got the blue, the yellow, the purple and the silver. And I'm actually going to put silicone in them this time. All the other paintings that I've done, one of them I sprayed the canvas with silicone, that was funny. But the rest of them didn't have silicone mixed into the paint. So that's what I am doing now. I've only got about, I don't know, maybe an ounce and a half in each of these pots. So just give it a couple of swirly gigs. I'm not going to put any silicone in the silver though, because it does its own funky stuff anyway. So let's do a couple of layers. I've got it mixed quite thick, so we'll see what shows up. Oh, the other thing I've got is I mixed some of the blue and yellow and made my own green, so I might add a layer of that in there too. From right up high, squiggly tops of that, and squiggly tops of the purple, blue, oh, the yellow sunk right down inside there. Let's go green again. I'm only going to put one layer of silver in, because that silver is invasive, to say the least. It's like a weed invading your beautifully manicured garden. And the last bit of the blue. Sorry about bumping the... Hey, look at that, isn't that pretty? Let's wait for the airplane to come over. Now, one thing that I've had a couple of you mention to me in my pour videos is that you think I need to leave my paints to develop a little bit more. And I was watching Pouring Your Heart Out this morning, and she really leaves them to sit and develop before she starts stretching them. So I'm going to try and remember to do that today and give that a go. Ooh. Oh, I wish I'd done that on a bigger. Wow. 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 And can I say it again? Wow. That is stunning. And I've got too much paint. Like, so way too much paint, it's not funny. Sellotape, quick. Quick. Where are you? Where's the end? Don't you hate it when you can't find the end of sellotape? Cover the hole. Pick that up. Put that there. No, actually. Wow. That's so pretty. Got some air bubbles in there though. Let's see what happens when I torch it. Crikey pajeevers. I wonder if it's too hot just to leave this completely alone and let it dry this thick. Wow. I think we could do a really big, beautiful, yummy pour with this. But I'm going to leave it to dry first. I haven't seen this stuff dry yet. I've just been paint. So it may not even dry nicely. It may go weird when it dries. So because like look at the size of those cells there, and I haven't stretched them at all. They are sitting on a very thick bed of paint right there. Really tempted just to leave it like that. making sure the paint is right over the edge all the way around. That's delicious. I might have found my new paint. Sorry, Reeves. I might have a new lover. Wow. Wow, wow. Just popping the air bubbles that are coming to the surface. That's stunning. But how well do they stretch? Do they hold their shape? Right. I am going to leave it like that. But I'm also going to capture some of that yumminess down in there too. Look at this. Right. Where's the cabochon? Where's the cabochon? Cabochon, cabochon. Going for a square one, I think. That's pretty funky, like that. Nothing else is really jumping out at me in there, but check out the tin. I like that put there. So let's grab a round one. Let's bring the tin back up for you to see. That's pretty. Pretty awesome. All right. So I am going to leave this to dry just as it is. I might actually cover it with a box because it is stinking hot in here. I tell you what, that once it's dry, covered in resin, actually let me get you down and show you it close up. Okay, some really beautiful bits in here. Look at that. I love these little blue and yellow. They're cute. Even that bit there is pretty. So there you go, guys. I will be back your time to show you this dry and those two pendants in 3, 2, 1. Well, it definitely darkened, and as per my test on the previous video about the transparency, that's because this is on a black record. But what I'm not excited about is all this weird bubbly stuff. It is definitely not something I've had happen before, and I don't know what caused it. I'm not sure whether I got a little bit close with the torch or what happened. So I'm going to do another one of these. I'm going to basically try and replicate this and see if the same thing happens. It's yeah. Now, one of the things that somebody posted, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name off the top of my head, in my transparency video, is pointing out that the cheaper paints, which these acrylic Artworx ones are a lot cheaper than my regulars, they tend to have less pigment, so they thin out more and are more transparent. So that's definitely an awareness to have when you're using the cheaper paints. You know, cheaper paints generally means less pigment, and also a coarser grain of pigment. So you will, you know, like the tempera paints, they come out almost, you can almost see every individual grain of pigment. It's almost as, sometimes feels like as coarse as sand. But the more expensive and the more expensive, the finer the pigment is ground before mixing with the medium, but also the more pigment you get per milliliter of paint. So bear that in mind when you're choosing. Definitely makes a difference in the transparency, but it also makes a difference in the look, the way that your paints interact with each other if you're using different brands, and all those sorts of things. So what else is possible? And also, you know, the cool thing about this form of art is you can always take really good photos of it while it's wet, and then once it's dried, if flies get in it, if it bubbles, if it cracks, whatever, you can always reproduce that with something else. So I'm not going to sit here and piggle this off completely, although it looks like it probably would come off pretty easily. I am going to grab another one and I'm going to reproduce this pour and see what gets created, whether it is something to do with how I heat gunned it, or whether it's to do with the paint mixing with the silicone, because this is actually the first one of that set of, what did I do, 5 that day, that I've had this problem with. So I think it may be something to do with the silicone, but it may also just be me being a little bit close with the torch. So let's do another experiment. Let's see if it is the silicone, because if it is the silicone, we'll get a similar response in the next one. So how did the cabochons come out? Let me show you. This one, it's a bit messy. Yeah, not fussed on that. It has some see-through qualities, which, you know, if you were putting that as a gem, actually it looks quite funky when you have it clear like that. Ooh, droppage. Yeah. If you stuck that on a window as a light gem, that would be quite funky. But as a pendant, once you put it back behind it, it becomes a bit not so quite fun. The other one, on the other hand, I think this one is stunning. Check that out. That, all the glittering, and it's got something to attract the eye in the center, yet it's got movement and color. And does it have a, it's not quite as see-through as the other one, but it's definitely cool. Hard to capture on film, sorry guys, but I like it. That one is definitely going to have something done to it. I think I might wash the other one off. Alright. So, how's it going to be in that? This is a first for me, having that much bubbling. So, but I'm not going to post this in the acrylic pouring Facebook group event for no limits. But if you've done something new, whether it's a new mix, a new something to pour on, something to pour through, something to pour out of, a new technique you're trying, even if it's only new to you and not new to anybody else on the planet, post it in that event page. And actually, please go into the event itself and post it, rather than just on the post in the group about the event. That way we can keep them all together. People don't have to go hunting around to find what you've created. I adore you all, and I look forward to playing with you more in future videos. So how does it get any better than this? Bye bye.